sides. I'm just sneaking in some extra practice on balancing while we're here. Ions floating around. And so these ions are going to be bumping into each other. And guess what happens? This is actually kind of easy. I'm going to show you 5 types of reactions, and then you'll be able to classify ones that you see. The first one is called combination or synthesis, and this is that reaction that was in the last video, where we've got 2 substances that combine to form something more complex. One that I like to do is burning the magnesium, and so magnesium and oxygen come together and make magnesium oxide. That's just a good example there. And then to balance that, we'll add coefficients like that. So combination synthesis, 2 things. Well, I won't say 2 things. I'm saying simple things combining to make things more complex. That is combination. And then the next type is the opposite of this, which is what we call decomposition. And you know that word, it just means to break down. And so we have complex compounds breaking down into less complex. And so I'm giving you this little generic format, AB breaking down into AB. So one that is kind of interesting is hydrogen peroxide. There's the formula. Actually decomposes into water and oxygen gas. I don't know if you knew that, but that's why there's an expiration date on a bottle of peroxide. So the oxygen just naturally decomposes and the oxygen comes off. So eventually you're going to be left with a bottle of water. And then to balance that, let's see, we need a 2 there to give me 4 oxygens on the right, and then I'll put a 2 there to give me a total of 4. So catch that, 2 oxygens right here, and then 2 right there, give you 4. So now I have 4 oxygens there and 4 hydrogens on both sides. I'm just sneaking in some extra practice on balancing while we're here. All right, the next type would be single replacement. And check this one out. In this case, B comes in here and kicks out the A. So a single replacement reaction I like to do is aluminum. You take aluminum foil, and then let's use some copper chloride, aqueous, and you will get aluminum chloride, aqueous, and copper. Okay, and then to balance that, let's see, let's go 3, 2, 2, 3. Okay, so single replacement is one element replaces another. So here in this case, the aluminum came in and replaced the copper, and the copper precipitated out. What's better than single replacement? You guessed it, it's double replacement. And this is when 2 ions are going to trade places. One that's really cool to do, you might have seen this one, is potassium iodide, aqueous, and lead to nitrate, aqueous. Now, what do I mean by aqueous? Let's just review that. So aqueous would mean a little solution, right? And instead of Ki, I actually have K plus ions and I minus ions. And when I do this reaction, what am I dropping in there? Another aqueous solution. So who's going to jump in? I've got lead ions and nitrate ions floating around. And so these ions are going to be bumping into each other. And guess what happens? Well, the lead is going to grab the iodide and actually precipitate. And then also we're going to have potassium nitrate aqueous. Okay, so to balance this guy, I'm going to do a 2 and a 2 there. All right, so that is a double replacement. And so look at what happened here. The lead and the iodide, the lead and the potassium switched places. That's double replacement. The last type is one that I know you've all seen. It's combustion. This is what happens in your car. You put in gasoline. It's a hydrocarbon. Oxygen is a reactant. You're going to produce CO2 and water and a bunch of energy. So I'm just going to throw that out here. Energy in the form of heat. So this one, the example I have here, this is propane. This is what you burn in your grill. the reason you burn this in your grill is not to get CO2 and water. You do it for the heat, right? The energy that comes off. But this is just a good example of combustion. And I hope that helps you classify one of the 5 types of reactions. Now, there are more chemical reactions. These are just 5 common ones that you will see in this semester.